morning everybody, Iain from RTO here. Hope you're all well. Welcome to Friday, welcome to live album ranking. So what we've got for you today, well, we've got I've just called it Pink Floyd and Family. So it's basically Pink Floyd live albums, Roger Waters live albums, David Gilmour, Nick Mason, anything to do with Pink Floyd. So we've got 11 official albums released by Pink Floyd, Roger Waters and David Gilmour, plus a few honourable mentions, and we better get cracking. So coming in at number 11 we have Roger Waters, The Wall, live in Berlin. This was a show held in Berlin on the 21st of July 1990 to commemorate the fall of the Berlin Wall 8 months earlier, and it was released on the 21st of August 1990. So it's Roger Waters and a band and lots of people joining in with the celebrations. So it opens up with In the Flesh, by Scorpions do this version. Pretty cool version as well. Klaus sounds really good on it. The Thin Ice, Ute Lemper, Roger Waters and the Red Funk Orchestra and Choir. Another Brick in the Wall Part 1, sung obviously by Roger Waters, and the sax solo was Garth Hudson. Then it goes into Happy Days of Our Lives, of course. Another Brick in the Wall Part 2 with Cyndi Lauper doing some of the vocals, and it's not very good at all. Mother, done by Sinead O'Connor. No, I didn't like that either. Never did like them two versions. Goodbye Blue Sky is done by the fantastic Joni Mitchell, and the flute's done by James Galway. That is a beautiful version of that song. I can't knock it. Empty Spaces and What Shall We Do Now, Bryan Adams and Roger Waters and the Rudd Funk Band. Really good. Young Lust as well. Bryan Adams is really good. The guitar solos are done by Rick DeFonso and Snowy White. And then we get that One of My Turns with the beginning bit done by Jerry Hall, who overacts it, making too much of it and just ruins it. One of My Turns sounds good though. Great vocal from Roger on that. Don't Leave Me Now, pretty cool. Another Brick in the Wall Part 3 is pretty cool on here as well. The Last Few Bricks and Goodbye Girl World, lovely emotional version of this. And we get Hey You, sang by Paul Carrick, very good version. Is There Anybody Out There, love that little bit. Great guitar work from Rick DeFonso and Snowy White. Nobody Home, Roger sings on this, but the solos are done by Snowy White. Vera, okay. Now the weird one is Bring Boys Back Home. This is done by the Rudd Funk Orchestra and Choir, the Band of the Combined Soviet Forces in Germany and the Red Army Chorus. Pretty cool, eh? Comfortably Numb, duo with Van Morrison. Not a bad version at all. Solos are done by Rick DeFonso and Snowy White. Then we get the other version of In the Flesh. Out come the Scorpions again with Roger and do a killer version of it. Bit like Run Like Hell or Waiting for the Worms. Killer versions. Great support from the Scorpions on that. Stop is just Roger Waters. Where I got Walters from. Then The Trial. It's the Rudd Funk Orchestra featuring Tim Curry as the prosecutor, Thomas Dolby as the schoolmaster, Ute Lemper as the wife, Marianne Faithfull no less as mother, Albert Finney as the judge. Then we get The Tide Is Turning, where everyone comes out on the stage and a bit like a Live Aid type rubbish. At the end, everyone just standing there waving their arms in the air and saying, what am I doing next? Outside the World, that's okay. Okay, when this album came out, it was the only live version of The Wall at the time, and everyone thought it was brilliant. But as other versions come out, this sort of got played less and less and less and less. And now it doesn't get played at all. I did play it when I was to do this, and it's okay. I don't mind it, but I don't play it very often. But I'll give it an RTO ranking of 6 out of 10, purely on when it came out. It was pretty cool. Okay, coming in at number 10, Live at Nebworth in 1990. Now this has come out in many guises. It came out on a few tracks come out on the album that come out with Music Therapy in 1990. I've got it on Pink Floyd The Later Years, 1987 to 2019. And then this year they've brought it out as a single album. And here we've got Nick Mason, Guy Pratt, David Gilmour, of course, Tim Wenrick on guitars, Joe Carin, who will play a big part in the whole of this ranking, Claire Torrey backing vocals, Durga Mabroom on backing vocals, and Sam Brown, as in Joe Brown's daughter, Vicky Brown, don't know if that's a relation. But hey ho, it was only a few songs. We got the Shine On You Crazy Diamond, part 1 to 5, The Great Gig in the Sky, Wish You Were Here, Sorrow, a long elongated version of Money that goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Comfortably Numb, always pretty good, and Run Like Hell. It's okay, it's just part of a package. Sound wasn't too bad, so I'll give it a 6.5 ranking. Okay, coming in number 9, we have a David Gilmour live album, Live at Pompeii, recorded in 2016 on the world tour. Came out the year after, I believe. We've got David Gilmour on here, Chester Carman, Guy Pratt, of course, Steve Stanzio, Joe Miller, and lots of people doing the backing vocals. So you get songs off Rattle That Lock and some of the classics. Opens up with 5 AM and Rattle That Lock, good track. Rock That Lock, Rattle That Lock, Faces of Stone, Do You Want Me, What Do You Want For Me from Division Bell, The Blue from On an Island, The Great Gig in the Sky, By Boat Lies Waiting, Wish You Were Here, Money, In Any Tongue, fantastic, High Hopes, One of These Days, Shine On Your Crazy Diamond, a lovely version of Fat Old Son, Coming Back to Life's on here, On an Island Today, Sorrow, Run Like Hell, Time, Comfortably Numb. This isn't a bad album. It's got a really good band together, but it is lacking something, and that something is Richard Wright. But it's still a solid album, and I'll give this an RTO ranking of 9.3. Okay, coming in at number 8, it's a Roger Waters live album, recorded on tour in 2017-18, released in 2019, Us and Them. It's a concert film as well. Film was really good. Takes a journey to, I think, his father, where he was wounded and killed, etc. Pretty moving stuff. The band was Dave Kilminster, Bo Costa, Holly Lassing, Ian Ritchie, Guy Serafat, Joey Waronker, Roger Waters, Jonathan Wilson, Jess Wolfe. Get an intro, then you get Speak to Me, played on tape with parts of the vocal track from When We Were Young. Then we get Breathe, One of These Days, Time and Breathe reprised, The Great Gig in the Sky, pretty good version. A stunning version of Welcome to the Machine, always good live. Deja Vu, The Last Refugee, Picture That, these are all off his solo album. Wish You Were Here, Happy Days of My Life, Brick in the Wall parts 1 and 2, then a version, then Dogs and Pigs and Money, Us and Them, Brain Damage, and Eclipse. Cracking album, but there's so many great live albums that they've put out. It's very hard to rank these, but I'll give this an RTO ranking of 9.4 because it is a really good album and the production on it is spot on. Okay, coming in at number 7, back to a Pink Floyd live album, recorded over 5 nights at the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, New York in August '88. Released in 1988 initially, it's Delicate Sound of Thunder. Then it was remixed and restored in 2019 for the later years box set, and now there's a more definitive version that came out last year. Band of course will be Dave Gilmour, Nick Mason and Richard Wright, Joe Carr in again, Rachel Furr is on backing vocals along with Durga McBroom, Guy Pratt's there, Tim Renwick and Gary Wallace on percussion. So you've got the definitive version now of this tour, which I saw them twice on. You get Shine On You Crazy Diamond, fantastic. Signs of Life, again pretty good. Learning to Fly is a fantastic version on here. Then you get Yet Another Move, Round and Around, and New Machine Part 1, they sort of flow together. Terminal Frost and New Machine, that second side of Momentary Lapse of Reason, pretty good. Sorrow is the best version you'll ever hear. That guitar solo at the end and the beginning is just dynamite. The Fantastic Dogs of War, the less impressive on a Turning Away. One of These Days, great version, fantastic stuff. Timing on the Run, great Gig in the Sky, pretty solid version of that. Great Richard Wright on the piano, he's the only one that can really play that right. Wish You Were Here, Welcome to the Machine, it's good but not as good as obviously Roger singing it. Us and Them, Another Brick in the Wall, Money, again goes on forever. Comfortably Numb, One Slip, never liked that track, even live it's pretty naff. And Run Like Hell. Obviously this album has got a lot of memories for me. Saw them twice on the tour. Saw them at London Docklands. The Docklands is in the middle of a housing estate, really weird place to go. But it's a great album and I'll give it an RTO ranking of 9.5. Okay, coming in at number 6, back to Roger Waters. This is from his In the Flesh live album. Came out in 2000 and it came out in 2000. Got Roger Waters on it, Snowy White's on it, Joe Carr in. He'll play keyboards with anybody because he must love playing Pink Floyd stuff. The usual sort of catalogue of musicians doing the backing vocals. Opens up with In the Flesh, the second part of it. Happiest Days of Our Lives, pretty good. That and Another Brick in the Wall together sound really good. Mother, this is quite a good version. It's Katie Kisson does the Mother bit, and it's a really good version of this song. It's near the second best version I've got of this song and I love it. Get Your Faithfully Hands Off of My Desert from the final cut, of course, lovely little bit. Then he does Southampton Dark, Pigs on a Wing Part 1, that goes into a fantastic live version of Dogs. The best version of this is unbelievably brilliant. Then a stunning version of Welcome to the Machine. Wish You Were Here, yeah, that's alright. Then you get the whole caboodle of Shine On You Crazy Diamond, parts 1 to 8. 14 minutes of pure genius, fantastic. Then we get the eerie set, The Controls for the Heart of the Sun. Terrific song. And that's only disc 1. Disc 2, you get Speak, Breathe, Time, Money, just a normal version, not the on and on version. Great sax in that, fantastic bit. Then we get 5 AM from The Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking. Perfect Sense, love that track. Parts 1 and 2 from Amused to Death. The Bravery of Being Outraged, another great song off Amused to Death. It's a Miracle, brilliant track. These live albums versions of from the Amused to Death are brilliant. Amused to Death again, a fantastic song. Then we go back into some Pink Floyd. We get Dark Side of the Moon clips, best versions of them 2 songs. Comfortably Numb, not too bad. Brilliant album again. Dogs is probably the best version you'll ever hear of it. I would say it's the definitive version of it, actually. And I'll give it an RTO ranking of 9.6. Okay, coming in at number 5. Back to a Pink Floyd album. Recorded during the European leg of the Division Bell tour in '94, released in '95. Pulse. Basically the same lineup from Delicate Sound of Thunder. We've got David, Nick and Richard, with Guy, John Carr in again, Sam Brown's back, Durga McBroom's back, Tim Renwick was back, Gary Wallace and Dick Parry plays the saxophone. Get a stunning version of Shine On Your Crazy Diamond. You get parts 1 to 5 and part 7. Then we get a fantastic version of Astronominy Domini. I'm breaking a new set of teeth for someone. Great version of that. Then we get What You Want From Me from Division Bell, really good. A corking version of Learning to Fly. Keep Talking from Division Bell, very good. Coming Back to Life, cracking version of that. A really good version of Hey You on here, lovely. Great Day for Freedom, again, really good version. Sorrow's not too bad, but it's not as good as the one off Delicate. Stunning version of High Hopes, fantastic. Then we get Another Brick in the Wall part 2, not a bad version of that. And then this 2 is basically the whole of Dark Side of the Moon. Highlights of it on this is The Great Gig in the Sky. Any colour you like is fantastic. Then they do Wish You Were Here, Comfortably Numb and Room Like Hell. Another great album, but the highlight of this is The Dark Side of the Moon. Very, very good performance. And I'll give it an RTO ranking of 9.7. Okay, coming in at number 4 then. Back to a David Gilmour album. This was a box set, live in Gdańsk. Part of it is done on the Island project. Released in 2008. Again, we've got Dave Gilmour, Richard Wright, Joe Carin and Guy Pratt. Dick Parry comes back, Steve DeSanzio on drums. It's recorded not just in Poland, it's recorded in England and America. And then you get some stuff done in the studio by David Gilmour, Richard Wright and Guy Pratt. The first disc is stuff up. We've got Speak to Me, Breathe, Time, Castellarozon, On an Island, The Blue, Red Sky at Night, This Heaven. All fantastic live versions of tracks off On an Island. Close My Eyes is good. Take a Breath on Here is stunning. A Pocket Full of Stones, Where We Start, that's off the first disc. Second disc is just a load of really good versions of Pink Floyd songs. A great version of Shine On Your Crazy Diamond. Astronomy Dominy's on there. A brilliant version of Fat Old Sun. High Hopes is good, but the best track on this disc is Echoes. Full version of Echoes. The interplay between David Gilmour and Richard Wright is superb. And since sadly Richard died, he's never performed it again, because he says he can't do it without Richard, and rightly so. Wish You Were Here, A Great Day for Freedom and Comfortably Numb. Shine On Your Crazy Diamond is the first track on the third disc. This is done in Europe. Dominoes, really good version. The blue, Take a Breath's here again. Wish You Were Here, coming back to life. Basically songs that we've already heard. Find the Coast of Freedom, This Heaven, Wearing the Inside Out, Pocket Full of Stones, Where We Start, On a Turning Away. Then you get a DVD where you get Shine On Crazy Diamond live, Wearing the Inside, Comfortably Numb, On an Island, and then in Abbey Road, Take a Breath, acoustic version of Echoes, and the Barn Jam sessions. Great little box set, thoroughly recommend it, and I give it an RTO ranking of 9.8. Okay, coming in at number 3, Nick Mason's turn to get a mention. Nick Mason's Saucerful of Secrets, recorded at the Roundhouse in 2019 and released in 2020. This features Nick Mason on the drums, Guy Pratt on bass and vocals, Gary Kemp from Spandau Ballet, of course, on guitar and vocals, Lee Harris on vocals and guitar and keyboards and vocals, Dan Brecken. This is superb. This has got all the early stuff up till Medal, so there's nothing past Medal on here. This is the classics. So we've got Astronomy Domini and Interstellar Overdrive to open up with. Brilliant tracks. Lucifer Sam, great track. The Beautiful Fearless, Obscured by Clouds, one of my favourite deep cut tracks. When You're In, really good. Remember a Day. The Fantastic Arnold Lane, Vegetable Man, If is on here, and then halfway through If you go into a bit of Atom Heart Mother and then back into If. Then you get the Nile song. I've never heard a live version of that in my life until this. Absolutely out the top drawer. Green is the colour. Then we get the brilliant Let There Be More Light. Unbelievable. Child's End, another cracking track from the early years. A stunning performance of Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun. CMD Playing Bike, absolutely spot on. One of These Days. Saucerful of Secrets is fantastic and points at me. This is a very special album. It's a must for any Pink Floyd fan. If you love the early stuff, this is for you, and I love it, and I give it an RTO ranking of 9.9. Okay, now we got a first for RTO. There is no number 2. It's an equal first. I couldn't split these up. First one, of course, is There Anybody Out There? Recorded on the world tour for the Wall between 1980 and 81. Released by Pink Floyd in 2000. It's performances from Earls Court, recorded in 1980 and 81. You've got Dave Gilmour, of course, Roger Waters, Nick Mason and Richard Wright. Then you got the Surrogate Band, which featured Peter Wood, Snowy White, Andy Roberts, Andy Bound from Quo, Willie Wilson, Charlie Brooks, Joe Chemay, Stan Farber, Jim Hass and John Joyce. It's basically the whole of the Wall. Highlights of this. In the Flesh is brilliant on here. Thin Ice is another great cool track off this. Mother is beautiful. One of My Turns, brilliant on here. Good Bright Cruel World, good. Hey You, good. Nobody Home, one of the best version of this, and then you get the best version ever of Comfortably Numb. And it's just a stonking album, and I love it for its nostalgia, because it's Pink Floyd singing it, and it doesn't sound no different from the studio version. The production's not as good, of course, but for production it's my other equal first, and that's Roger Waters' version of the live Wall, recorded in Athens and Quebec and Buenos Aires. Snowy White's on here, Dave Kilminster, Joe Caring again. And for this version of The Wall, The production is fantastic. This is probably the best Roger Waters live album. He put a lot of time and effort into this. He even adds a little thing in paying tribute, obviously, when he was out in Argentina, to Jean-Charles de Menzies, the young man that got shot by mistake in London. I'm not going to talk about it because it's politics. Don't do politics. Stunning versions of the songs, and that's why I can't split them up. They're both good on equal things. Is there anybody out there for the classic lineup and the Wall live for the production? I can't split it up at all, and I have to give it 10 out of 10. It's one of my favourite albums of all time, and I can't split this up. I tried, and I kept listening to it, and they've all got the same quality, nostalgic and definitive live version. Okay, and now we have the honourable mentions for you, as I mentioned. Okay, the first one I'm going to mention is a David Gilmour album, New Game, recorded in 1984 in California and released in 1992. This covers stuff off the first two Gilmour solo albums and bits of Pink Floyd, and we've got Until We Sleep off About Face, absolutely belter of a track, All Lovers Are Deranged, Love on the Air, Miller House, Cruise, Short and Sweet, Money, Out of the Blue, You Know I'm Right, Run Like Hell, Blue Light, Murder, Near the End and Comfortably Numb. Pretty good album if you can get it. It's very rare as Rocking Horse Doo-Doo, but it's very good. Another one that's worth a mention is Pros and Cons Live, recorded at Radio City Hall, New York City in 1985 by Roger Waters, released in 2017. It's got some really good tracks on here. I had a very dodgy bootleg radio version that I had for years until this came out. This has got Welcome to the Machine on Set the Controls, Money, If, Wish You Were Here, Pigs on a Wing, Get Your Filthy Hands Off My Desert, Southampton Dock and the Gunner's Dream, In the Flesh, Nobody Home, and the only version I've got of Have a Cigar Live, pretty good. Another Brick in the Wall Part 1 goes into Happiest Days of Our Lives and Brick 2, and then you get the whole of Pros and Cons. 4:30 AM apparently we were travelling abroad. Running Shoes, Arabs Without Knives, West German Skies, pretty cool that is. The first time today part 2, Sexual Revolution's pretty good. The Remains of Our Love, Go Fishing, First Time Today, Duran Darkin Dovin, Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking's pretty good. The Moment of Clarity in Every Stranger's Eye, brilliant stuff, and then it ends up with Brain Damage and Eclipse. Can't mention Pink Floyd live without mentioning Ummagumma, the first album, the live album, which has got Astronomy Dommy on it, Careful with That Axe Eugene, fantastic version of that, a stunning version of Set the Controls, and an even better version of Saucerful of Secrets. And then I've got a Dutch bootleg, Chaos on the Road from 1988, pretty good. You get the phone in, I think it's John Catt or someone that does it's a DJ, brilliant stuff. My brother went to see this at Wembley and he said it was brilliant. You get Radio Waves of Chaos, Welcome to the Machine, brilliant track, Who Needs Information off Chaos. It's the way it was done. It was done like it's done like a radio broadcast, and he introduces the songs. You get Money, In the Flesh, Pigs, Wish You Were Here, Mother, Molly's Song, Me or Him, Powers That Be, brilliant track. Going Live in LA, Sunset Strip, which is a brilliant thing. Then you get a Fish Report, get your hands off the Filthy Desert, Southampton Dock, and then a mute version of Arnold Lane off the radio. If Every Stranger's Not Now John, only live version I've heard of that. Another Brick in the World, Happiest Days of Our Lives. Another Brick in the World 2, Nobody Home, 4 minutes, and The Tide Is Turning. Not a bad little album. The quality is a little bit naff, but it's a bit of nostalgia. Okay, that's all for Pink Floyd related. I think we covered everything there. We'll be back later to do part 4 of the Paul Rodgers. See you for that later. Bye for now.